Hello, I'm Guy Hudson, I'm a physicist, and I'm here today to talk about EMF safety. Right since electrics were first, or electrification first came out early in the last century, safety's been an issue. Electrocution has been a problem, and also when microwaves came out and microwave ovens and radar and things like that, there were obviously heating effects in the way that a microwave oven works to cook our food. You would want to make sure that we don't cook ourselves with radiation. And then there's the strong radiation, which is stronger than light. So you've got ultraviolet and X-rays and gamma rays associated with harder electromagnetics. We've known it's the mechanisms for that are very well understood, and we know how to protect from that with sun creams and shielding and that kind of thing. But what is coming to the fore more recently, because of the huge amount of increase in levels of that, is radio waves. So it's right the way from long wave right the way through to microwaves and even infrared. It's been discovered through huge range of scientific discovery. I mean, people quote 18,000 papers and that kind of thing. There's something called the Bio-Initiative report that came out last year that quotes dozens and dozens and dozens of papers from all different bodily systems, whatever it might be. You know, muscles, nerves, skin, liver, kidneys, whatever, are all affected by this electrical pollution that we have around us now. And some of us are more immediately affected than others. So if you're so-called electrosensitive, you exhibit symptoms often as soon as the pollutant is experienced. Other times it's much more slow onset. So we live in an environment now where we've got we're beginning to understand the problems with electromagnetic pollution, particularly with Wi-Fi and mobile phones and all that kind of stuff. Incredibly useful stuff. We're never going to be without it. But it's a bit like cars were in the 1960s. Everybody was getting them, but they were still highly dangerous. And if you had a crash in an old Mini, it wasn't a good place to be. Whereas if you have a crash in a modern car with all the airbags and crumple zones and all that kind of stuff, it's much safer. And so I think that's what the development that we need to go through. But in the meantime, what are we to do as consumers? And the current regulations are only protecting us against crude electrocution and also overheating. There's no protection against the more subtle penetration of these waves into our biochemistry and the biochemical disruption that's occurring, which is affecting a lot of us. Now there are many. It's not just me saying this. there are dozens and dozens of groups of doctors. 1,700 practicing doctors in Germany have signed a petition. There are many people. There's 40,000 doctors in the States that have signed a petition, and there are many pressure groups in almost every country you can think of: Finland, Germany, Holland, Israel, Australia, USA, South Africa. Have all got groups which are campaigning to get safer standards. And in the meantime, what are we to do? And what we should be doing is to reduce our everyday exposure as much as possible. And that's where our company, Beneficial Environments, comes in. We can advise you on how to reduce your levels of pollution as much as feasible and practical in your lives. Thanks for listening. Hope it was useful.